guys, my name is Marissa and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing 3 easy, affordable dinner ideas that only require 5 ingredients for each meal. This video is also in collaboration with my friend Ashley over at FitBusyBee. Ashley is a wife and stay-at-home mom to 4 children ranging in age from 9 years old down to 5 months. She posts fitness motivation, cooking videos, as well as cleaning motivation. If you like my channel, you're really going to enjoy watching Ashley's as well. I would love it if after you watch my video, you go check out Ashley's 3 additional dinner ideas that only require 5 ingredients.
Today is Easter Sunday. It is not a traditional year and we're not making a traditional dinner. I am wearing a t-shirt and jeans, and we are going to have what I call pizza pasta for dinner.
Here are the 5 ingredients we will be using for tonight's dinner. Any pasta that you have on hand. Ordinarily I would use penne pasta, but my store has been sold out of penne for the last 2 months, so I'm just using what I have on hand. Some mozzarella cheese. I do have one family member that has a dairy allergy, however it isn't anaphylactic, so he can have trace amounts of dairy. I just won't put this cheese on his portion of the dinner. A can of just plain whole black olives, some traditional marinara sauce, any sauce that you have on hand will be perfectly fine, and finally some sliced pepperoni.
We are going to start by boiling our noodles just according to the package directions. This package says to cook your noodles for 12 to 15 minutes. Because we're going to stick our dish in the oven, I always cook it for whatever the lower recommendation is on the package. So we will boil these for 12 minutes, and then I will show you how to assemble the dish. While your pasta is boiling, you do want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Adding salt to the water, and then dumping in our pasta noodles. Once we drain the pasta, I'm going to open up the can of olives and I'm going to drain them on the top of the pasta, which might seem kind of weird, but it gives the pasta a little bit more of the olive flavor. And then I'm just gonna shake it all off to make sure that I'm getting the brine out of the pasta, but it's sifting through the cooked pasta noodles.
If you are new to my channel and you haven't done so already, I would love it if you would hit the red subscribe button, as well as turning on bell notifications so that you don't miss when I upload. Once I have drained our pasta and our olives, I'm just going to pour them into a 9x13 baking dish and dump on our marinara sauce. I do stir this pasta at this point to make sure that the marinara sauce is well coated on all of the noodles before I move on to our cheese. As I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to be putting cheese on the top of this entire dish, but obviously that's what you would do if you don't have someone in your household that can't have dairy. So you'll see that I'm just spreading the cheese out and leaving a section in the corner that doesn't have any cheese on the top. The person in my household that can't eat cheese is only 2 years old, so he doesn't need a huge serving of this. Finally, I'm just going to top this with pepperoni. Because I call this pizza pasta, you could use any toppings that you like on your pizza. If you like sausage or mushrooms, if you like vegetables, I've done this with onions and bell pepper. Anything that is something you would put on the top of a pizza works really well in this dish. Finally, I'm just going to cover it with some aluminum foil and bake it in a 350 degree oven for 20 minutes. This dish is a family favorite. What's really not to love here? It's a combination of pasta and of pizza. My kids will absolutely devour this. This serving was enough to make one dinner as well as a lunch for the entire family. It also freezes really well. So if you make it ahead of time, you can certainly freeze it and save it for later.
Tonight for dinner, I'm going to be making panko and Dijon crusted chicken thighs with roasted finger-length potatoes and broccoli. The 5 ingredients we will be using for tonight's dinner: Dijon mustard, petite finger-length potatoes, chicken thighs, panko breadcrumbs, and broccoli. I am not counting oil, salt, and pepper as ingredients because that's something that most people just have on hand. They have some sort of oil. I'm using an avocado oil spray. Any oil you have will do, and then just salt and pepper. This dish is really easy because it just cooks on one sheet pan. I absolutely love sheet pan meals. We are already blowing through dishes in my household with everyone being home, so anything I can do at dinner to minimize the number of dishes we're using, I am strongly in favor of. I've posted other sheet pan meals on my channel. For this particular dish, we're going to start by taking our finger-length potatoes and we're going to cut them in half. We're then going to spray this sheet pan with just some avocado oil spray. You can use anything, if you have Pam, if whatever you use, vegetable oil, canola oil. I just like avocado oil because it's a little bit healthier fat. Once we've really done a good job of greasing this pan, I'm just gonna go ahead and slice all of these potatoes in half.
If you guys have ideas of sheet pan meals that are family favorites in your household, I would love it if you would comment them down below so that I can give them a try.
Once all of our potatoes are flesh side down, I'm going to just start working on our broccoli. This was a pretty big bunch of broccoli, and as much as I want to be optimistic and think that my kids are going to eat a bunch of broccoli for dinner, they're probably not. So I'm not going to cook all of this. I'll probably cook half of this and put a couple pieces on their plate and hope that they eat it. When I was a kid, I thought that I hated broccoli because my mom always steamed it, which I still don't like steamed broccoli as an adult. Once I realized that it tastes way different if you roast it, I love broccoli now. If you've never tried cooking broccoli by just roasting it raw in the oven, it tastes way different. So even if you think you don't like broccoli, you should try it this way. I just break it into little pieces. Okay, that's probably good. I have some cauliflower left, so I will probably with another dinner just mix to broccoli and cauliflower. I also don't throw the stems away. I have shared in another video that I have a bag that I keep in my freezer. I actually just made broth out of it, so I don't have one right now, but I will just take a freezer bag and any vegetable scraps that I have, I save them and then I turn them into broth.
Now we're going to get started on our chicken. I'm going to start by taking all of our chicken thighs and making sure that they are really dry. You don't want any moisture on the outside of your chicken before you start to dredge it. I then take the thighs and I slice them in half and remove any of the excess fat. To coat our chicken, you're going to use just plain Dijon mustard. I'm going to put that into a separate bowl. You want to use a pretty good amount here so that you have plenty to cover the outside of your chicken. Finally, you're going to just take some panko breadcrumbs and season them with salt and pepper. If you have other seasonings that you like to add, you could add garlic powder, onion powder, herbs, anything that you have on hand that you would like on top of chicken can be added to the panko at this time. Then you're going to take your chicken and you're going to first dip it into the mustard. You want there to be a pretty good amount because you're not using any other liquid. And once you've got it pretty well covered, you're then just going to put it into your panko. Make sure that the mustard is completely covered with the panko breadcrumbs and transfer it to your baking sheet. Once you've got your chicken completely covered in your panko breadcrumbs, You're going to take your avocado oil spray and spray the top of your chicken. It just helps it crisp up a little bit because you're not frying it at all. At this point, I just season everything with salt and pepper and put it into a 350-degree oven for 40 minutes.
Here's what it'll look like when it's done. You just want to make sure that your potatoes are fork tender, your chicken's cooked all the way through, and we like our broccoli to be a little bit charred. I don't know if you can see there, just a little bit charred, and it gives it better flavor.
If you guys would like me to make additional recipes that require minimal ingredients, give this video a thumbs up.
Tonight I am going to be using asparagus, mixed bell pepper, onion, sausage, and rice as our 5 ingredients. I have made similar sheet pan dishes on my channel before. You basically just take any veggies that you have. It doesn't matter, any combination. This could be broccoli, this could be cauliflower, it could be carrots. It doesn't really matter what the veggies are. Anything you're wanting to use up, you're just gonna chop up those veggies, combine them with some chicken sausage, and serve them over rice. Again, I'm not counting any oils and salt and pepper as part of the ingredients. I'm just going to use this avocado oil to grease my pan and then season with salt and pepper. But if you have seasonings, if you have garlic powder, onion powder, dried herbs, fresh herbs, you can add anything to it to enhance the flavor of this. But my family will eat anything with chicken sausage in it, so we will tell the kids that in order to get more than a couple of pieces of chicken sausage, they have to make a dent on their veggies. My kids also love rice, so really anything that we serve on top of rice is a hit in my family. We are just going to spray the sheet pan with some avocado oil spray. You can use any spray that you have. Any spray that you have will work. I am just using avocado spray. I picked this up at Kroger. A lot of times I'll use the 2-pack that you can get at Costco, but I haven't been to Costco in a couple of months, so I am out of that. I've explained before, but I am a part-time working mom. Prior to social distancing, I was working outside of the house. 2 days a week I would go into an office and I would work. Now I am working at home with all 3 of my kids home. I can't tell you how chaotic it is when I'm trying to work. Maybe I can tell you. Maybe you completely understand and you're doing this too, and you can relate with my struggle. Today was one of the days that I worked from home, and a lot of times I will just take a freezer meal, something that's packaged, not healthy, and that's what we'll have for dinner. Tonight I'm getting a little bit adventurous and making something that's still extremely easy, but at least has fresh vegetables in it. Oh, my husband takes the time, he snaps every single one of the ends off the asparagus. I go Rachel Ray style. I just take it, cut it straight across. He will call me out on this tonight. He will notice that I did not individually snap every one, but you don't see him in here doing it, so that's what we're doing. Going with something that's gonna be easy. I've cut the ends off of all the asparagus and just put them on this baking sheet. Next, I'm going to just cube up this bell pepper. I just slice the end off of it and pull out the center. Looks like that. I mentioned before, I think I mentioned it already on this video. I keep this bag in my freezer. It stores all of my produce scraps. So I will take the ends of this asparagus, into the bag it goes, and then I'll just make stock with that. The top of this bell pepper, into the bag it goes. I don't do the seeds because that just is kind of a mess. It's hard to strain the broth when there's seeds in it. So I do throw that away. I'm also bringing a pot of water to a boil to cook our rice. My family will eat 1 cup of rice, so I've just got 2 water. Words are hard. I am bringing a pot of water to a boil. I have 2 cups of water in here. My family of 5 will eat 1 cup of dry rice. Just gonna cube this up, put it on the tray. If you are a mom that's working from home and your kids are with you because they can't go to daycare, leave me your tips on how you're coping, what you're doing with them throughout the day. My kids are ranging in age from 2 to 15. I have a 15-year-old that is a freshman in high school. He's pretty self-sufficient. He sleeps until like noon every day and can cook his own meals and take care of himself. I have a 6-year-old that's pretty independent. And then I have a 2-year-old that if you follow me on Instagram or you've watched some of my other videos, he's a little bit of a handful. He, sweetest little thing, smart as could be, he's a lot of work. My other 2 children, they didn't prepare me for my 3rd child. He's into everything. He's a spirited little guy. So, I think that working in general from home with a 2-year-old is challenging, but I don't know if it would have been as difficult if he had the same temperament as my older 2 kids had. This water's come to a boil, so just gonna add our rice. Stir it around. Put a lid on it. 20 minutes. You know how to cook rice, pretty self-explanatory. Now moving on to our onion. Just going to slice this up. And you'll notice that I'm not, other than the seeds for the bell peppers, I've thrown everything in this bag. The skin, everything. Just goes right into this bag that lives in my freezer. If I weren't trying to make this a 5-ingredient dinner, a lot of times I will use my homemade broth to cook my rice. Just gives it a little bit more flavor. I have a whole video showing the broth, so. I just cut this onion in half and big chunks. Sprinkle it on top. I'm just gonna take this chicken sausage, cut it up, sprinkle it on the top, spray it with the avocado oil, salt and pepper, and that's it. We're gonna put it into a 350-degree oven for about 20 minutes. So when our rice is done, the sheet pan will be done. Here is what our sheet pan looks like after I've cut up all the veggies, the sausage, and topped it with avocado oil, salt, and pepper. And here's what it looks like when it comes out of the oven. You can see that everything's well caramelized. I'm just gonna take a spatula, scrape this up a little bit to get some of the brown bits off the bottom, and serve our veggies and sausage over rice. Here's what it'll look like all dished up. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to go check out Ashley's video so you can get 3 additional ideas of dinners you can make only using 5 ingredients. I will have her channel linked in my description box down below. I hope that all of you are staying happy and healthy. Bye.
Hey guys, you're halfway home. Welcome.
You're so funny.
Hey guys,